A hard battle. I am Reverend Imran Shuker. A hard battle. I am Reverend Imran Shuker. A hard battle. The doctrine of original sin, closely connected with that of redemptive by Christ, provides lucid discernment of man's situation and activity in the world. By our first parents' sin the devil has conquered a certain domination over man, even though man remains free. Original sin in detail captivity under the power of him who thenceforth and the power of death, that is, the devil. Ignorance of the fact that man has a wounded nature inclined to evil gives rise to serious errors in the areas of education, politics, social education, actions, and morals. The consequences of original sin and of all man's personal sins put the world as a whole in the sinful condition aptly described in St. John's expression, "the sin of the world." This expression can also refer to the negative influence exerted on people by communal situations and social structures that are the fruit of man's sins. This dramatic situation of the whole world, which is in the power of the evil one, makes man's life a battle. The whole of man's history has been the story of harsh combat with the powers of evil, stretching, so our Lord tells us, from the very dawn of history until the last day. Finding himself in the midst of the battlefield, man has to struggle to do what is right, and it is at great cost to himself, and aided by God's grace, and he succeeds in achieving his own inner integrity. You did not abandon him to the power of death. After his fall, man was not abandoned by God. God calls him and in a mysterious way heralds the coming victory over evil and his resurrection from his fall. This passage in Genesis is called the Proto-Evangelium, the first gospel, the first announcement of the Messiah and Redeemer, of a battle between the serpent and the woman, and of the final victory of the descendant of errors. The Christian tradition sees in this passage an announcement of the new Adam, who, because he became obedient unto death, even death on the cross, makes a man superabundantly of the disobedient of Adam. Furthermore, many fathers and doctors of the Church have seen the woman announced in the Proto-Evangelium as Mary, the mother of Christ, the new Eve. Mary benefited first of all and uniquely from Christ's victory over sin. She was preserved from all stain of original sin, and by the special grace of God, committed no sin of any kind during her whole earthly life. But why did God not prevent the first man from sinning? Saint Leo the Great responds, Christ's inexpressible grace gave us blessings better than those domain Eve had taken away. And Saint Thomas Aquinas wrote, "There is nothing to prevent human nature being raised up to something greater even after sin. God permits evil in order to draw forth some greater good." Thus Saint Paul says, "Where sin increased, grace abounded all the more." And the exalted sings, "O happy fault, which gain for us so great a Redeemer." God did not make death, and he does not delight in the death of the living. It was through the devil envy that death entered the world. Satan, or the devil, and the other demons are fallen angels who have freely refused to serve God and his plan. Their choice against God is definitive. They try to associate man in their revolt against God. Although set by God in a state of reductive, man, enticed by the evil one, abused his freedom at the very start of history. He lifted himself up against God, and sought to attain his goal apart from him. By his sin Adam, as the first man, lost the original holiness and justice he had received from God, not only for himself but for all human beings. Adam and Eve transmitted to their descendant human nature wounded by their own first sin, and hence deprived of original holiness and justice. This privation is called original sin. As a result of original sin, human nature is weakened in its powers, subject to the ignorance, suffering, and the denominations of death, and inclined to sin. This inclination is called the concupiscence. We therefore hold with the Council of Trent that original sin is transmitted with human nature by propagations, not by imitations, and that is proper to each. The victory that Christ won over sin has given us greater blessing than those which sin had taken from us. Where sin increased, grace abounded all the more. Christians believe that the world has been established and kept in being by the Creator. Love has fallen into slavery to sin, but has been set free by Christ, crucified and risen to break the power of the evil one. Thanks for watching Heaven Eternal Home. God bless you all.